welcome back to another episode of our life seasons where we talk about the different seasons of life and how we grow through it. I'm your host Wen, and as per usual, be sure to stick to the end for a little bonus. Before I start, I just want to share some news, exciting news. We have new members joining our life seasons inner circle. So if you're asking what is our life seasons inner circle, what are you doing? Just kidding. It's a newsletter where you will receive 2 love letters from me every single week, once at the start of the week and then another towards the end of the week. So you will actually get access to our live season's exclusive journal prompts templates, and also if you want early access to the pre-release podcast episode and of course other good stuff, then please join our live season's inner circle, okay? Our live season's inner circle will be your bestie. I handcraft every single email, so it's not like I send it out, and I respond to all emails personally. So think of it as like a pen pal type of thing, okay? To join, just click on the first link below, alright? Also, please do leave a review of this podcast on whichever platform that you're on, because I read every single one of the comment, review, and DMs, alright? Now, today's episode is very special. I'm very, very excited because before recording this, I literally felt this surge of like excitement and just, I don't know, it just feels like this message needs to get out, and it needs to get out to the people that needs to hear it, alright? I mean, all my episodes are special, but I've received a lot of comments and DMs, which, by the way, I really do appreciate all of those. And on episode 31, where I actually asked a question on what exactly is it that you're afraid of if you let go of this relationship of this person, and this video actually kind of went viral on our live seasons TikTok account, and a lot of you have actually commented and responded to this question, and I picked out the top 3 answers which you might relate to. So these 3 answers are: I'm afraid I'll never meet someone like him again in life. I just don't want to lose him. I love him because he's him. And then third one is: I don't want him to be with someone else. Sounds familiar to you? Maybe your answer is one, if not all 3 of them, and I replied to all of the comments, but the limited limited characters on TikTok don't do me justice, okay? So here is a whole entire episode on my advice and response to these statements, because I really want us to scratch beyond the surface of what is actually going on. So before I get any further into this episode, here's a little warning, okay? I'm going to filter out my people here, and this means that what I'm about to say in this episode might piss some of you off, and that's fine by me, because if you're pissed, it means I've triggered something in you, and it's a good thing, because it just means that deep down within you, you know that there's some truth to it, okay? Just that for whatever reason, you choose not to be hurt by that truth, and I respect that. So if you want to drop out now, here's your chance, alright? But for those of you who have this eureka moment upon hearing what I'm about to say, it means you're ready. You're my people, because I've said it a lot in all my episodes. If you're not ready to heal or move on, I can't make you do it. No one can heal you except for yourself. I could only tell you my perspective based on my experiences and hopefully shift something within you. But if you don't relate, or rather if you don't want to heal, I can't do anything about that, okay? You gotta do the heavy lifting. So our life seasons people, my people, are the ones who are sick and tired of living life on autopilot and allowing someone or something else to rule your life, to take control of your emotions, okay? You exhaust yourself with all the excuses, and you realize that the only way to heal is actually to start healing and to start taking actions and to start listening, okay? So we're ready. Now, I'm not gonna lie when I said I was pissed, okay? Pissed to know that there are so many of you out there who are still hoping to manifest or get your ex back, or someone whom have chosen to leave you, okay? To live your life. And also not many people are talking about this openly, or the perspective that I'm about to share with you in this episode. So let me preface by saying that I'm not pissed at those who left these comments or your ex, but I'm pissed for you, okay? Perhaps this is what the universe wants me to tell you. Enough. Alright, listen to me. You have so much in you, so much love to give, so much joy and so much potential in you, and you're not allowing yourself to see it. So don't let someone's departure take that away from you, take your potential away from you. Just because someone don't see that potential in you doesn't mean that it don't exist, okay? It doesn't mean you don't deserve to have it. You deserve everything that you ever asked for. The love that feels just right, the way you wanted to be treated, the respect that you demanded just because you give the same respect to others. You deserve of all the standards that you uphold because you know you give your all when you fall in love, and that's not a bad thing, okay? And if you love pep talks like this, episode 32 will be your favorite. But today's episode, it's more on like a big sister advice, giving it to you straight from the get-go. The signature style of our life seasons is no sugarcoating, no bullshitting, because the last thing I want for you to do is to lose yourself while loving someone else and getting stuck in this heartache. Alright, everything that you desire is made possible for you if you stop thinking that you can't fall in love again. Stop being afraid of this unknown and step into bravery. Stop questioning whether someone will ever love you again like that person did, because sweetie, you will be loved the way you deserve to be loved, the way you want to be loved, if you start believing that you will find that someone who's willing to give it to you. But you first gotta give it to yourself. Alright, believing that whatever you seek from someone, you could give that to yourself. No one is going to love you better than the love you have to give to yourself. By expecting someone else to love you more than you love them, it says a lot about you and not the person. These expectations are a reflection of you and not them, okay? So one important thing that I need you to know is that whatever you tell yourself is correct. It's the truth. If you say you can't live without them, you can't. So if you're saying that you're afraid you'll never meet someone like them again in your life, you're right. You won't. And I'll tell you why. Because this is what's going to happen, okay? You'll carry on this story with you, and with every new people that you meet in the future, you'll consciously or subconsciously start comparing them to your ex, okay? You'll start thinking like, oh, my ex is sweeter to me, he's more attentive. Oh, my ex is blah, blah, blah. You may not have to say it out loud, but thinking about it is enough to take away the chance of you getting to know someone new as they are, okay? You deprive yourself of the opportunity to start from a blank slate, to allow someone to show you who they are, and to allow yourself to learn your own love language, to allow others to show you a different type of love. And all of this won't happen if you're constantly thinking that you will never meet someone like him, like your ex, in your life again, because the truth is that you won't, and you're not meant to meet someone like him again. That's the whole point of them living your life, okay? Because like I said in episode 11, everyone serves a purpose in your life. They bring about a lesson, and once you learn that lesson, they have served their purpose, and you wouldn't have to learn that lesson again, which is why you are right. You'll never meet someone like him again in your life once you have learned the lesson, okay? What? Like, I know it's crazy. Yes, this is what perspective can give you. It's how you choose to see and whether you choose to take on this perspective. I'm just here to show you that every thought of yours is correct. Every story of yours, you will live it out if you choose for it to be that way, okay? The good and the bad. That, my love, is power. Okay, when you're ready, you unknowingly be putting yourself out there and meeting new people. Don't rush to get into another relationship just to numb out the pain, okay? Because I know it all too well. I talked about it in episode 33 about how I used to actually try to avoid feeling the pain by getting into another relationship right after one ended. And it didn't work out for me, okay? And I explained everything in that episode. So now, I just want to address another statement that you guys actually commented of, I just don't want to lose him, I love him because he's him. Let me tell you this hard truth, okay? You want them to stay, not because you love them, but because you feel like you need them to live, and that's an illusion. Why? Because you once lived a life without them. Why is it all of a sudden that you can't live it? You can't live your life when they are gone. Yes, happy memories are created. I understand that. Perhaps they allow you to feel love, but if they can hurt you this much, it also means that they are not meant for you, because the only person that making you this hurt is yourself. Not him or her, but you, and that is a fact you need to come to terms with. Okay, this is me telling you the truth that no one, even your family or closest friends, might tell you, because it will break you, especially when you still carry hope and fear of losing that person. But it's okay. That's what our life seasons is for, and that's what I'm for. I'll be the villain to your story if it means that you can actually start to take back your power and be responsible for your emotions, because like it or not, no one is obligated to make you feel loved or to stay in your life just because you want them to, okay? Or just because you feel secure and safe with them. That's selfish for both you and them. And guess what else? You stop growing if you're constantly rejecting change, because growth only happens outside of your comfort zone. And change needs to happen, okay? So if you're saying, I just don't want to lose him, I love him because it's him, babe, you gotta stop doing that. You don't actually love him. You love the idea of having him, the idea of loving him, and it's selfish. Keeping someone that wants to live is selfish of you. I'm not encouraging self-blame because as humans, we're all selfish in our own ways, right? You can fight with me on this for all you want, but we are selfish when it comes to things that benefits us, that prevents us from hurting or feeling pain. That's just a way of us protecting ourselves. But I want to shine the light on the fact that holding on to someone that wants to leave, who is ready to leave you, is you being selfish for your own sake, for your comfort, and that is gonna hurt. You're gonna get mad, but it's the truth. And we know that sometimes we don't get the privilege to hear the truth all the time because we tend to hate on the people that tells us the truth. And that's why I say, if you really want to heal, the truth is what's going to do that for you. And I'll be the truth bearer, okay? I don't sugarcoat, and I don't want to, because all the fluff is not gonna help you. I don't like to play the blaming game, like I said. I know some people might say that, oh, it's his fault, oh, it's your fault. To me, it's pointless to find out who's at fault. Knowing who's at fault don't make it easier for your healing, because then you build up a lot of resentment and hate within yourself when all you gotta do is to come to terms with the facts. But if you're already having resentment, then watch episode 4, okay? I talked about how to release resentment and see things from a different lens, from a lens of gratitude and love. Forgiving them to release yourself from the pain. Forgiving them does not mean you accept the behavior, but come to terms with the fact that you're not allowing them or their actions to hurt you anymore, to have an effect on your life anymore. But anyways, the fact in this case, it's you don't actually want to keep him around because you love him. You tell yourself that story by saying you don't want to lose him and you love him. Subconsciously, what you're saying is, I don't want to lose him because I'm afraid of the version of how I think life would be if I let him go. And that version feels like hell. But guess what? You're already living in hell if you're trying to keep someone who just wants to leave. And like I said in episode 32, about how the more you chase after someone, the further they will run away from you. So listen to that, okay? You are afraid, and that is normal. Doesn't mean it's helpful, but it's okay. Focus on facing your feelings, facing your fears. You're not to blame, neither is he at fault, okay? So knowing this fact, you can come to terms with it and start moving forward. And now, if you're saying, I'm not ready to move on, or I don't want him to be with someone else, listen up. The thing about this statement is that you don't want him to be with someone else. You just don't want him to heal and move on before you do, okay? Sounds selfish again, but it's actually just your fear of abandonment speaking, okay? Perhaps you've been abandoned before by your previous partner or even your parents during your childhood days. Perhaps you've always felt like, you're not made a priority and that there are always more important things than taking care of yourself, your mental health as you grow. Or you tend to fall for someone that makes you feel safe and you cling on to them for your dear life and it affects the relationship. And that may translate into someone labeling you as clingy or needy, and you start to take on this story. Or you start to prioritize others' needs too. And that may look like people pleasing, which is why, if you are doing that, please go back to episode 6, okay? All this behavior stems from the fear of abandonment. Fear that if you don't put someone else first, they won't even notice you. They won't care about you. And also by placing everyone else's needs before you, you're hoping that they will appreciate you more, and then you can actually start feeling love. And this resulted in you neglecting yourself, which is why it's very hard for you to let go of a relationship, friendship, a person, or even a job, like anything in life. You'll find that you're always at the expense of someone else and have a lot of fear build up in you. Okay, it eats into the different parts of your life without even you knowing. This is a story you choose to tell yourself, a narrative you choose to hold on to for comfort, to avoid the unknown, to avoid healing. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what you're actually doing subconsciously, okay? And hear me out. What you're afraid of, or what you're really afraid of, is actually to heal, because you know that by deciding to heal, you got to take responsibility. You got to let go. You got to make a lot of decisions that are really uncomfortable for you, that are new to you, and that scares the shit out of you. But that's okay. I'm here to tell you that that's okay. You're okay. You will be okay. It's scary. I know. It hurts. I know. And it's okay to admit it, okay? Being scared of the unknown, of the possibility of actually living without them is scary. I know it. You are afraid that they might blame you, or you guilt trip yourself into thinking that it's bad being able to live without them. It feels wrong being able to move on from a relationship or friendship that has been working out, that you thought was your forever, because that is not what everyone else is saying, right? Everyone says that, if you don't grieve, or if you don't move on, or if you don't move on from the relationship, it means that you actually love them. But what if you don't? What if the fact is that you once did, but it's just not the type of love that will work between you guys, and that is okay. Why do we have to hold on to someone or something that makes ourselves grieve and tell ourselves that we can't move on just because it seems wrong to actually be able to feel relief, releasing ourselves from the pain of something that we know is not going to work out? There has to be a reason why it ended, right? There has to be someone or something better out there, and that's why the universe ended it abruptly. So embrace that. It's okay to move on first, to acknowledge that it was a great relationship while it lasted. Take the lessons that you have learned with you and wish them the very best while parting ways. I want you to understand that you'll never actually lose someone. You can't lose someone that was never meant to be in your life. You only gain, okay? You gain lessons, you gain knowledge on what you need to work on, you gain an opportunity to actually start growing and glowing up. To work on this fear of abandonment, the only thing that you should be focusing on is pouring the love back to yourself, to give it back to yourself. You're going to feel lost at the start, which is very normal, and which is also why I'm here to help you. It's going to feel unnatural and weird at the start, but keep going, okay? It can be overwhelming, especially when you're not used to it. So let me break it down to you in these 3 steps, and only these 3, okay? Nothing else. A good way to start is by building a fulfilling life outside of your romantic relationships, okay? Whether it's friendships but I want to talk about one relationship that is the most important in your life, and that is the relationship with yourself, okay? First step is to rediscover yourself. I want you to start exploring your passions, interests, and values, rediscovering who you are outside of your relationship, outside of anything, any friendship, regardless of whatever it is. Then second, I want you to redefine love. Whatever mindset and concept that you have about love needs a double take on it, all right? Check out episode 34 where I talk about, what true love actually is for me. So lastly, this is the most powerful one, alright? Have you noticed that every advice that I gave you is all about you? It's about taking back your power. It's about your choices. Nothing about your ex or your partner, whatever that is, because I talked about it in episode 33. The common denominator in life is you. Your current reality is a result of 90% of the choices that you have made. How you choose to respond to the situation and what you choose to do from now on, and not what they did to you, okay? I don't need to justify for you why they did what they did, because again, like I said in episode 34, you don't need to seek clarity or closure to move on. Whatever that is, it was in the past. Nothing happens when you focus on the past other than feeling worse and amplifying the pain and situation by holding on to why it happened. Instead, I want you to focus on the present moment. This present moment. It has already happened. What can I do now to move forward? How can I feel better? These are the type of questions that you should be asking yourself, instead of constantly asking questions like, what did happen? Why did they have to leave? You only get confusion and more resentment by asking those questions, okay? But if you ask the how questions, how to heal, how to start moving forward, you get actionable steps. Steps that actually help you to move forward in your healing journey. The type of questions determine the type of emotions you choose to have, which then translates into the actions that you're gonna take, and eventually manifesting into your reality, okay? So I want you to think about what is it that you're asking yourself on a day-to-day basis, that you're saying to yourself every single day. Is it helping you to move forward, or actually keeping you stuck in this path, in this loop of negativity and pain? Start to be aware of your thoughts and live a conscious life. That's the way you start to learn more about what you actually truly desire and start taking actions that align to that desire. Take some work, but it's definitely worth it, okay? I started this episode with a question, and now, before I end this episode, I want to leave you with something to think about as you're healing. I want you to be real with yourself and let me know how you feel after this, okay? Something to think about. Are you actually hurting, or are you just trying to feel what you're supposed to feel, what the society tells you that you should feel? There's only one answer, okay? And that is, you just feel a need to feel pain because that is what we were told to do. That is what everyone else is doing. That is the norm, and that is like how you feel, and that is how you should feel, how the society tells you should feel, right? And that is to feel your heart ripping into pieces, to feel your world come crashing down, to grieve, to bawl your eyes out when someone leaves your life. But who says that we can't just feel peace, that we can't celebrate a breakup, we can't pop a champagne on that? Who says the only way or the only right way to react is to cry and lock yourself up? Who gives someone the right to shit on you if you were to choose to see breakups from a different lens, from a lens of relief and love? Who? No one, but just the society and just the majority of the people out there, right? I really wonder who created this rule of grieving and being in pain when there's a removal of someone from our lives, because that is not it, okay? Have you ever think about it? Who just decide collectively that we must be in pain when something ends to show that we actually did care and love the other person? I need you to understand that just because everyone else is crying and showing that they can't live without someone, that relationship or that person, doesn't mean you have to do the same as well, okay? You are allowed to feel differently, to feel relief, to feel happy, to feel excited about the next chapter of your life, because it can be amazing to see what the universe has in stock for you. You are allowed, okay? This is your permission to whoever that says you can't, or that it means you don't really love the person, to devalue your love. Direct them to me, alright? Because damn, I can have a full-blown conversation with that person, okay? I now give you the permission to look at breakups in a whole new light. Instead of seeing it as a painful experience, see it as an opportunity for growth and a sign that the universe is bringing all your desires into your reality. So buckle up and be ready for it. But all this can't happen if you're constantly choosing to be in sorrow. And I say this so passionately because I went through it, okay? I went through all the pain, the countless nights of crying and wishing that he'll magically want me back, praying that I'll find love again, or find someone like him again, wondering if I could actually ever move on, if I was ever gonna be healing. I went through the pain that you're going through now. I was in it. But then one day, guess what? That pain turned into anger. That anger fuels this sudden realization of why. Why do I have to put myself through this? Who says that this has to be the right response for breakup? I came to a conclusion that I'm going to create a new way of viewing breakups, and that day was the day that my tears stopped flowing. My heart stopped aching. I felt lighter. My whole world opened up to receiving, and that was the day I started healing. I churned out all this anger into something beautiful. This version of me that today, literally people are asking me, how do you do it like so effortlessly? How could you just let go and move on? How are you not crying? And my response is, I never said that it was easy, because this pain drove me to this new perspective of breakups, okay? I learned to come to peace with everything that happened in my life. I learned to trust that there was a reason, even though I don't know what it was at that time. I learned to live without a proper closure, and you don't need one to move on. And I learned to seek peace within. I learned to not only trust myself, but hand over all the pain that I have to the universe, to Mother Nature, to God, to whoever that you believe in, okay? It was this realization that made it look simple, but it's not. The hardest part is to come to terms with the perspective of, I get to feel relief after this breakup. I get to decide that I don't need to feel pain. I don't need to cry to show that I once loved this hard, that I did care for him. I don't need to beg him to stay in my life, because I don't want to part ways with the comfort and security from the life that I got so used to. I get to move on. And when you feel this too, you become so powerful, because what you're doing is calling back your power, taking back your power from that person, that situation, and say, look, this is my life. I get to make the decisions. I get to be happy. I deserve to be happy. I want to be happy, and I can be happy. Then everything else becomes simple, okay? The steps to healing will actually start to be shown to you as you just go on with your day-to-day life. It becomes like, it comes as little nudges, right? Like maybe one day as you're going to work, you suddenly feel this sense of relief and excitement of what's coming your way, because all the work that you've done is helping. The podcast that you have been listening to are slowly making sense, and something has been shifting within you, and that day will come abruptly where you realize that you have walked out of sorrow, that pain. You've seen the most broken version of yourself, but also the strongest, and the healing journey continues, all right? Lastly, this is for the person that commented saying that since when did ChatGPT get so advanced? Your script is so good. My love, I'm flattered, okay? But this is advice that no AI, no ChatGPT or Bard, now named as Gemini, can give you, because this is based off my real experiences and my spiritual awakening and connection with the wisdom from the universe, okay? And this wisdom is available for anyone, including you, if you open yourself up to receiving it, alright? It's not ChatGPT or whatever. Alrighty, so that's all for today's episode. It's such a good one though, honestly. Like, I've never felt so passionate about a topic, but I hope you truly enjoy this episode. And also, I hope it triggered something within you, and it triggered some people, because it did shift like a perspective on having those statements, okay? If you have any burning questions or topics that you want me to cover, please feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram at our live seasons, or comment on whichever platform that you're listening to, and I'll get back to you. Alright, I hope you continue to heal, and I send you so much love from the bottom of my heart. And please continue to support us, continue to be part of our inner lives, inner circle. And I can't wait to see you in the next one.